because the New Zealand economic recovery from COVID has been a lot better than expected. And so we were able to spend large sums of money helping out the lowest income New Zealanders, but net debt never goes over 50% of GDP. And that's been a great outcome from our perspective. So it is the classic striking of the balance here. We are investing, very large sums of money, not just in support for those who are on benefits, but also in health and education, infrastructure, supporting small businesses. And I think we've got the balance about right. We live in very volatile and uncertain times. And so we thought it was prudent to make sure that we didn't allow debt to go any higher than that. And obviously it's significantly elevated from where New Zealand has been in the past, but we're comfortable we can manage it.
Was there a thought as well that it gives you a little bit of flexibility in terms of if you do need to spend in perhaps 2022, 2023, that you can then do that?
Yeah, look, I'm optimistic about our revenue forecasts looking ahead to 2022 and 2023. I think the New Zealand economy will continue to grow solidly. We've seen excellent job numbers in New Zealand, excellent unemployment numbers. There's, an optimism as we're starting to open up in terms of our people-to-people contact with the world. The rest of the world is starting to, come out of COVID. And so I feel very optimistic about that. But, as I say, it is putting a budget together in this year. In 2020, everybody said nobody knows what's happening. In 2021, it's been where there's a little bit more information, but there's still a lot of volatility and uncertainty out there. So I feel like as we look to 2022 and 23, we signaled today some real important moves we need to make in terms of our climate change goals. That includes opportunities for investment there and new technology, new jobs that come out of that, and then obviously work around our housing challenges too. So there'll be plenty to do in budgets 2020, 22 and 23, and I think we've got the resources to do it.
I want to touch on climate change and housing in just a second, but just turning back to what you mentioned about growth, are you worried about perhaps there being a little bit of capacity constraint and that's going to constrict growth moving forward, and then the upside inflationary impulses that might have as well?
Yeah, look, there are some capacity constraints in the New Zealand economy. Again, they're somewhat ironic in the sense that the construction industry thought that last year, the bottom was going to fall out. It didn't. And so, New Zealand's construction industry has got some constraints, but we've outlined a pipeline for that, and we're working with the industry to make sure that we can get projects delivered. Supply chain issues are probably the biggest one for us, and we don't have as much control over those because they're global issues. And so we are keeping an eye on that. But overall, inflation is not predicted to go outside of the Reserve Bank's band, the 1% to 3% band. It picks up at about 2.4, comes back down to 2%. So, that's okay from our perspective. But clearly, as we're saying, it's uncertain and we'll keep an eye on it. But overall, I'm comfortable that we can get the development we need in the economy while we're dealing with some of these constraints.